If you're in a spot right now in your life and you just know that something needs to change, you're hitting that metaphorical glass ceiling, whether it be in your business and your career, your personal life, and deep down, you've got that feeling that something has got to give, like something has got to change, then this video is for you, because we're going to talk about the 4 requisites of change. Like, what are the 4 things you must do if you want to make a rapid change and make a major breakthrough in your life? So if you do not do these 4 things, I am sorry, but the breakthrough that you're looking for, the result on the other side that you're going after, it's just not going to come. So you have to have these 4 things. The good thing is they're not very complicated. It doesn't mean they're easy. It just means that you need to be consistent and stick to these 4 requisites. And we're going to jump through them right now. And as I go through, I'm going to use this little jar of give to show you exactly what needs to happen, so that way you can make the change you need to do in your life. Let's jump in and take a look at what the 4 requisites of change actually are. So the first thing that you need to do, if you want to make a major change in your life, if you want something to break through and you want to get to the other side, you are going to have to go within. That's going to be the first thing. Like, before we even get into the actual, what the requirements are, is just the understanding that what you are looking for is not outside of you, and the pathway to get it is also not outside of you, right? Going within is the way to get there. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. Going within is the way to get there, and it's going to make sense as we go through this. So as you take a look at the 4 requisites of change, the very first thing that we need to do is release the negative emotions. We need to release the limiting beliefs, and we need to integrate the parts of you and do any of the reframe work. And so what does that actually mean? Like, what does that mean for you? Going back to our to give jar. If this is you, like inside of your mind, your consciousness, this is what's going on up here, is you have to be willing to, 1, open the cap, right? We got to take the cap off and be willing to go inside of our mind. And the very first thing that we need to do is to release. That is giving yourself the opportunity to go search for or get assistance in searching for, and then getting out, expressing, and removing all of the negative emotions. Let's see if we get this out. And negative beliefs, all of the misaligned values, all of the things that are going on up here that have been holding you back for however long you've been struggling. For most, it could be the whole life. Like, that's where we're going to go back to some childhood stuff and get rid of all of that stuff that bothered you up here that you never dealt with. You thought you were going to bury it down, and lo and behold, it's come back up, and it's getting in your way. That's okay, because that's most people. That's what happens. The only thing we need to do is move forward in releasing it. And the cool thing about that is that you don't actually have to go look at the scary thing. You don't have to go and do like decades of therapy. There's a faster way to get through this. And if you keep watching the videos that I have and follow some of the methods that I've used for myself, you'll find that you can get to the next stage of your journey much, much quicker than having to go through decades of talk therapy or struggling and suffering with pills and medications and all that stuff. So just understand that as we go through, like, you can release this without having to do what the traditional way has told you, or let's say the traditional system has told you that you must do. But it has to happen. Right? We have to release all of the negative emotions, the limiting beliefs, and then integrating the parts. So what does that mean? Without going too deep into parts right now, just understanding that there's probably a part of you that wants one thing and another part of you that wants another thing, right? You've probably felt a little bit of polarity in certain decisions of life or areas of life, and that's one of the things that we want to work on integrating, is getting yourself back to a place where you don't have that conflict internally when it comes to whatever it is that you're going after in life right now. So that's what we mean by releasing all of the crap. Mental baggage, just to say, mental and emotional baggage, we got to get rid of it. We got to get it out. It's within our mind, within our body, and it needs to be released. That is step number 1. It does not have to be painful, and it does not have to be long and torturous like, unfortunately, mainstream psychology or science may have told you, or media may have told you. That's not true. And once you do that, you're going to see that as we break away all of the crap, right? So we break away all of the crap around our limiting beliefs and our negative emotions, we're going to end up with, at the very end, hopefully I can do this right, and we will have you. That's what you're going to find, is you're going to find the real you, the authentic you. What do you truly want? What are your values? Who are you? That's what we're going to get to the bottom of by releasing everything. And then what we do is we start to build that back in. We start to place you back into here, if that makes sense. And as we place you back into there, into yourself, say you reveal yourself more than place it back into it, we start to go on to step number 2 of the process, which is going to be creating a compelling future. So once you unpack and you pull out all the mental and emotional baggage that's been holding you back, your limiting beliefs, we get your values in alignment, parts are integrated, you're going to have a completely different outlook on the future of where you want to go, and more specifically, how you're going to get there, but also like the confidence you're going to have in getting there is going to be so tremendously high that the plan is going to completely change if you had one. So what we do is we create a compelling future. That's step number 2. Once you've released everything is cool. Now we can set the goal. But if you set the goal first, you're setting it underneath all that baggage, which is why we got to dump it out. Because then we have this empty vessel, no baggage in it, and we can start to put in the good stuff, which are the real things that you want. So we create that compelling future. We place it into the future so that we can go after it. That is step number 2. And that's the fun part, I would say. And that's what most people try to start with, is just, hey, I'm going to set a goal and I'm going to go get it. And that's cool, but you haven't actually done the work necessary to get that goal, which is to release the negativity and all the underlying emotional baggage, any sort of history, like past stuff. Get rid of that so that way you can get to the real, authentic, raw you. And you're going to find that the compelling future is much easier to create and much, much quicker to achieve once you've arrived at that point. When you do that, we got number 3. So step number 3 is we're taking purposeful action. There needs to be action. I think that is one of the biggest missteps when it comes to making change, whether it's behavioral change, psychological change, is that people assume just because I went and I talked about a thing or because I set a goal that it's magically going to happen. You know, the secret, the idea of the secret, and I'm just going to manifest from my mind by thinking about it. That's cool. Like, it's a great idea of visualization, but there needs to be action. That's the thing people forget, is there needs to be action that goes along with the setting of the goal. With the manifestation, with the visualization, you have to then go and act on what you are receiving or what you are seeing. You can't just sit home and wait. Things don't come to you. You have to go and take action. So that's number 3. We have to take purposeful action. And that is, like I showed you earlier, breaking off the crap, and we're finding the pieces of you. So we're getting back down to this piece of you, and we're putting that piece, I'll make it more clear. We're getting back down to the pieces of you, and we're filling back up our vessel with what you truly want. That's purposeful action. And the more that you do that, the more that this vessel is going to grow to become exactly who you want to be truly. And you're going to be able to achieve and receive your goals and your results that you've been looking for and so far have been stuck and couldn't get. Right? So that's what happens with the purposeful action. And then number 4 is probably the most difficult. Maintaining a positive focus. You have to maintain a positive focus, and you have to maintain positive emotions consistently. We want to do it consistently. So that means that as you're taking purposeful action, you're moving towards your goal, and you hit a roadblock and something comes up that might stop you. You can't just let it stop you. You can't sit back down. You can't go backwards. You can't get negative on yourself. You can't tell yourself why it's not going to work. You have to actually push through. That's where that purposeful action, the positive focus comes into play, is we want to maintain a positive focus on where we're going, which would allow us to push through. And when you push through with positive focus, you're able to push through those barriers and those obstacles without pain, without suffering. Pushing through with power versus trying to force yourself through even though you don't want to do it and you're just angry about it. That's how you get pain, is you're forcing yourself to do something you don't truly want to do. When you're following your path, you're on your purpose, you've got your compelling future lined up, you've released all the negative mental beliefs, you've released all the negative emotions, you've released all the baggage, you can just take consistent positive actions towards what you want, and you're not going to be dragged backwards with all the negative stuff. Maintaining that positive focus is your maintenance of that plan. We want to surround ourselves with great people. We're maintaining our positive focus for ourselves as well. Positive media outlets, positive consumption of material, positive education of yourself, positive nutrition, positive training. You can see where this goes. That positive focus and positive action must be maintained in all areas. When you do that, you're going to find that you're going to get to your goal almost instantaneously. That's what's really cool about this, is once you have these 4 requisites, it is guaranteed that you will achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. And that's how you break through. So if you're struggling right now, and if you're hitting that ceiling, and you've got all of these, let's say, stuck inside you, it's all stuck in your vessel here, all your crap, then maybe it's time we start and we empty it out, right? So that way you can build back and you can add the pieces of you. That's a process to do it, is to, number 1, release your negative mental and emotional baggage, change those limiting beliefs, get rid of them, realign your values to who you are, create that compelling future, integrate those parts too, just in case you got any. We all do. We're going to get that compelling future, place it in our timeline so we can achieve it as we move forward. And then we're going to take positive action consistently, and we're going to maintain positive focus. As long as you do those 4 things, you're going to be able to get whatever it is you want. And if you want help doing that, if you want further details on how do you actually release the negative emotions, how do you get into the unconscious and start to rewire yourself and find that person that you truly are deep in there, so they can come out and they can help you achieve your goals and get to where you want to be, then head over to Ryan.Lighthouse on Instagram. Send me a DM, say Lighthouse. Learn about the Lighthouse leader community. Learn about how you can make change for yourself. And if you're looking for that breakthrough, you can also work with me one-on-one, where we can go through the specific area of your life that you need the most help on and break you through to that next level, going through the 4 requisites of change that I just talked about, and helping you facilitate number 1, where it doesn't take you decades or 8 years. It's literally gone in a day. So if you want to learn more about that, head over to Instagram, go to Ryan.Lighthouse, and send me a message saying Lighthouse, and we can talk. Thanks again for watching. And if you have any questions, comment down below. Let me know what did you learn about this? What do you have questions on? What are you doing right now as well to release some of this stuff and maintain positive focus as you're taking action towards your goals?